People think socialism shrinks the wealth gap. In theory, it makes sense, right? Tax the rich, help out the poor, shrinks the wealth gap. That makes sense in theory, but I actually think socialism increases the wealth gap. I understand that sounds crazy. Ryan, what are you talking about? Socialism, that's good for everybody. That helps the poor. No. Because with socialism, you have a lot of government spending. And with that, you have inflation when they just print money out of nowhere. Socialism causes inflation, and inflation increases the wealth gap. The way it works is rich people tend to own assets, real estate, stocks, and when inflation happens, those assets go up in price. They get richer. But think about the poor person. Their grocery expenses are a large percentage of their income. So when those prices go up, eggs go up, meat goes up, whatever, they get crushed. And they usually don't own real estate, stocks, so they don't get to participate in building their wealth, and their expenses go up. They get crushed through inflation. And the government will say, oh, inflation is caused because of greedy corporations, price gouging. No, here's the thing. Everybody's greedy. I'm greedy. You're probably greedy too. I don't know you if you're watching this. I don't know who's watching this. But you're probably greedy too. If you win the lottery, you're probably not gonna just say, oh no thank you, that's too much money, I decline, right? You're gonna take that money. We're all greedy. The reason why these corporations can raise these prices is because of this money printing, because there's extra money in the economy, so it causes more demand for these things. So prices go up, and that hurts the poor people. It's actually capitalism that makes things more affordable. Yeah, I said it. Capitalism makes things more affordable through innovation and efficient markets. If you just imagine a world where we have an abundant supply of stuff, an abundant supply of skateboards and video games, clothing, houses, cars, food, whatever. There's just extra stuff everywhere. What do you think that's going to do to prices? Things are going to be very affordable in that scenario. So how do you get that? How do you get an abundant supply of stuff? Extra surplus. How do you get that? Well, that's capitalism. Because capitalism, it incentivizes the production of stuff. At the same time, it disincentivizes the consumption of it. And that's what the economy is. It's the production and consumption of stuff. With socialism, there's a smaller incentive to produce stuff. We need incentive to do things. You don't want to get up to go to work, right? Most people don't. Most people, they don't want to wake up at 6 a.m, get out of bed, get ready, commute for however long, go to work for 8 hours, commute back. Most people don't want to do that. So we have to have incentive. We need it. And that's capitalism. So capitalism is the best way to create an abundant supply of goods and services, of stuff. And when you have that, prices go down. Things become more affordable for the rich, the middle class, and the poor. Yes, and the poor. Capitalism is good for the poor people also. Yes, I said it. Yes. Because if you have an abundant supply of stuff, it's more likely to make its way into the hands of the poor people. Through philanthropy, through whatever. If there's extra stuff, it becomes cheap. Smartphones, maybe people will have 5 of them just because they're so cheap. You have one for the office and one for the car and one for work, whatever. So if you see somebody homeless, somebody who doesn't have any money, and they don't have a phone, maybe you're like, whatever, here, you can have one. It's just more likely that they would get one, right? You can argue right now they can get one through the help of the government, but the reality is the government doesn't produce anything. They have nothing to offer. All they can do is spend. They can spend money, but then they have to tax you, right? Every dollar the government spends has to be repaid by us. Taxes! So if the government is pretending like they're giving you something, stimulus checks, Social Security, they're not giving you anything because we have to pay for it in the end. It's like they're taking your money and giving it back. It doesn't help. You can argue, yeah, well, the rich people, they make so much money, so just tax them more and give it to the poor. That'll make everything better. But the more you do that, the less incentive there is to get rich. And you need incentive. You need people that are going to take risks and spend years and years trying to build a business, even though there's a high chance it'll fail. Somebody who builds a business starting in their garage, just working crazy hours and making sacrifices to build a product that can help billions of people. We need that incentive. If you told Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or whoever, some rich person, that when they were starting out their business, that there was zero chance that they were ever going to make a profit, they probably wouldn't do it. You might argue, yeah, they would just do it because they like doing that, or they're just kind. No, most people aren't going to do that. They need that incentive. You need it. And these rich people, the only way they get rich, theoretically, is by helping people. Like Jeff Bezos, he gets hate because he's so rich, but he got there because he improved the lives of others. I can go on my phone and order a package. I don't have to leave the house. It can get delivered to me. It's cheap. The reviews are good. It's super easy. It's super convenient. And it created a ton of jobs for people. So he only got super rich by making stuff. And the fact that he's hoarding his wealth, that people will say, I mean, it's mostly in his stock, Amazon, but if he's hoarding his wealth after he created a bunch of stuff, I think that's a good thing because it brings prices down. If he went and spent it, it would be inflationary. It would put a pressure upwards on prices. I know what I'm saying. A lot of what I'm saying is controversial. I get it. You can fight me in the comments. That's cool. Socialism increases the wealth gap. Capitalism shrinks it. It's a hot take. I know. You just got to think about it. Capitalism brings prices down. Yes. They'll tell you it's because of capitalism, that's why everything is expensive. No. No, sir. Because of inflation caused by money printing, excessive government spending. That's why. We don't need to have all this government spending. Take Social Security, for example. I know a lot of people rely on that currently. And the argument is, well, they paid into the system for all these years. Yeah, I get that. I don't think we should take it away now, but I think it should have never existed in the first place. That's another very controversial thing. You're gonna probably disagree with me on that. But what I'm saying is, instead of them paying into the system for all those years for Social Security, they could have saved that money and invested it in, say, an index fund or something, a mutual fund, whatever, just invested it. And they probably would have done significantly better than paying into the system and getting their Social Security. Because you know, if they pay into that Social Security, the government spends it, it's going into so many people's hands, you know that people are going to take a little bit of a cut. You know not every single dollar is accounted for. So it would make more sense to not have the government do it. Just save your own money and invest it. Don't give it to the government for them to give it back to you later. You don't need the government to do that. Just like a lot of things. Parks. You can have all the parks privatized. Again, that does maybe not make sense. But right now you're paying for the parks whether you go to them or not. Your local park in your city, you're paying for it. Taxes, that's how you're paying for it. Let me do a lip slide really quick. Yeah. You pay for the parks via taxes. And if they didn't have those parks there through the government and they were private, you'd have to pay each time you go, but you get the choice. You would pay less in taxes. You save money on taxes, but then you get to choose whether you want to go to the park or not, or you get to choose which one. And I think the park would be better because they have to earn your business. Just like having a gym membership, it's private. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to pay for it if you don't want. You can choose. You don't like that particular gym? Don't pay for it. Go to a different one, or don't go to any of them. Go work out in your house. You have the choice. Why give money to the government and have them choose what you want? Why not just choose what you want on your own? Spend your money how you want to. It's very hard for this concept to take hold because these politicians will run for office and they'll want your vote, and they'll tell you, hey, I'm going to give you something for free. I'm going to give you these stimulus checks. We're going to spend on infrastructure. We're going to spend. And they make it seem like they're giving it to you out of their own pocket, right? They're giving you money. They're not. They don't have any money to give you. They can only take your money and spend it. Just spend your money how you want to spend it. I know that was going off on a tangent, but capitalism is the best. Socialism does not work. That's why it's super hard to afford a house, because of socialism. The increase of the wealth gap because of socialism. Oh, and you might be wondering, what are you talking about, Ryan? This is the United States of America. We're capitalist. We're a capitalist society. Not really. It's a blend. We're capitalist and socialist. It's a blend between the two. And it changes over time. The more we spend, the more the government spends, the more we move toward socialism. And that's why things are expensive. That's why it's so hard to afford a house, because of socialism. If we were more capitalist, we would be on a gold standard where it creates responsibility for the government, where they can't just spend money like crazy. And this is for Democrats and Republicans. It's both sides. It's both sides. They're gonna try to tell you it's the left, it's the right. It's both sides. They both do it. They both want your vote. They're both gonna spend way too much, and they're gonna tax you. And there's gonna be inflation. Inflation is another tax. We need to get back on the gold standard. It's gonna be very hard to do because we're sitting on this mountain of debt. It's $37 trillion of debt. And yeah, it's important. We got to pay it off because it's mostly Americans who own that debt, right? So if you just cancel it, a lot of people with 401ks, they're going to lose out big. People will say it's mostly owned by Japan or China. No, it's mostly us. So the debt is important. So if you get back on the gold standard, it would cause some short-term pain, like in a big way, but for long-term gain. It would actually increase affordability for the common person. It would be better for the rich, the middle class, and the poor. But y'all aren't ready to believe that. Capitalism is the best. It's goated. No better system. We would have a much smaller wealth gap if we had a true capitalist society, which we don't. America is a blend between the two. Don't comment on my abilities on this game. Or do, I don't care. This is how I skate in real life, actually. It's like, I can do this, though. So yeah, you've probably been lied to. Capitalism is the best. Even for the poor people. Even for the rich. Even for the middle class. Yes, capitalism is the best.